So, welcome everybody. This is a 75-minute alignment-based vinyasa class. So come to a seated position. I'm just going to talk to you for a few moments. Over the last 4 weeks in these online classes, we have been looking at the chakras. Don't worry if you're leaping in here for the first time. Each week is a standalone class about one of the chakras. So we are now on the 4th chakra, which is the chakra of compassion and love. It is the heart chakra. Hang on, I'm just going to quickly check. I don't think everyone is muted, sorry. Okay. So it's the heart chakra. It's called the Anahata chakra. And it is literally in the middle. So we've got the 3 first chakras. Chakra 1, Chakra 2, Chakra 3, which are about very much being grounded and connected to the earth, about the basics of relationships with other people. And this middle chakra, the heart chakra, is connecting those more grounding, earthy chakras with the higher, more spiritual, ephemeral connection to the universe and the rest of mankind and life. So here we are in the middle. It's the eye of the storm. It's the center of peace and stillness. And it's very much about empathy and compassion, not just to other people, but also to ourselves. We're going to be going through a sequence today that's going to have quite a lot of backbends and opening up of the heart in order to give a big house, a big home to this chakra and to help it spin in a more even and healthy way. Because we're going to be going through quite a fluid sequence and I'm going to need to talk to you continuously, we're going to learn more about the chakra in the poses towards the end of our sequence when we're in much more stillness and longer holds, opening up the hips a little bit more. So first of all, focus on your body, on movement and fluidity, and then we will start to think more about the theory and the history and the philosophy of this lovely green sphere of power that resides in the center of our body. By the way, suspend any disbelief and doubts that you may have about the chakras. Think of them as a theory in order to look at your physical body, your psychology and your spirituality in a different and interesting way. Be curious and be interested in the theory of it, even if you're not completely open to believing it all. Okay? So let's begin with our asana, with our postures. So please come to hands and knees. So from here, bring your hands to the front of your mat. It doesn't matter whether your mat is orientated sideways to your screen or frontways to your screen. If it's frontways, you're probably less in need to keep turning your head to look at me. But it doesn't matter. You can move your mat halfway through the sequence or now as you feel fit. So from here, please bring your big toes together so that they touch side by side, and then round your back. So you're stretching the back of the heart here, rounding your spine, firming your abdominal muscles as well. And then coming into cow pose, drop your belly, raise your chin, look up. And then again, one more cat pose, round your body, look at your navel, bring your tailbone in towards your nose a little bit more. And then again, come into the back bend, cow pose, lower your belly. Keep your arms really straight and strong. Keep pressing your hands flat into the floor. And then come into a normal tabletop position. And then please sit down on towards your heels, coming into child's pose. So walk your hands forward a little bit more. Keep your arms really straight. Bring your forehead onto the floor or onto your blanket or block. Stretch with your hands. Squeeze your arms strong. Stay here for about 10 more seconds. Breathe deeply, considering your breaths, lengthening the inhalation and slowing down the exhalations. Now come back again, up to hands and knees. And turn towards me so that you can now sit onto your heels, sitting in Vajrasana. Bring your arms ahead and bring your right arm under. We're coming into eagle arms, cross as high as you can. And place your forearms right in front of your nose. Now bring your elbows down in towards your solar plexus, in towards your breastbone, in towards your heart. And squeeze your elbows down in towards your body. Turn your head a couple of times so you know that your neck is loose. Try and be palm to palm rather than clasping fingers. Yeah, that's it. And then round your back. Press up through the back of your heart like you did in cat pose. Now come all the way up. Release your hands, bring them down by your side, and then clasp your hands behind your back and raise your heart up. Look up towards the ceiling. Don't let your head completely drop its weight behind you. Keep some strength in your neck. And then release your hands, look forwards, unclasp your fingers, bring your arms ahead of you again. Eagle arms on the other side. So this time the left arm is under. Clasp hands. That's it. And then make sure again that your wrists are in between your eyes as you bring your elbows down. And when you're ready, round down, breathing into the back of your heart. Let your shoulder blades really separate from each other, creating space in the back of your lungs to breathe a little more deeply and completely. Now press down with your toenails so that you can inhale and come up. Unravel your arms and then interlace your fingers the other way, the undominant clasp behind your back. And then again, raise your chest, squeeze your shoulders onto your back, lift your chin just a little. Maybe this time you can bring your hands a little higher. Squeeze your arms strong. Now coming back to center, drop your chin, look forward, release your hands and come into a bent kneed downward facing dog. So change the orientation of yourself to your mat if you need to. Place your hands down with your index fingers pointing forwards, tuck your toes under, lift up and press back. And do keep your knees bent. Squeeze your arms straight and strong like you did in child's pose, pushing your hands forward. Really push down through the base of each finger and slightly raise your armpits and your shoulders up towards the ceiling. Make sure that you've got space in between your feet, that you could put 2 more of your feet inside at least, maybe even a little wider. And then begin to press your heels down into the mat, straightening your legs. Bring your awareness to your back and keep pressing your lower ribs into your body so you feel your lower back maintaining that little curve that you have when you're standing up. Stay here for a couple more breaths. Now bring your knees down to the floor and come all the way down. Maybe move your knees and your feet back a little bit. Come all the way down onto your belly. Slide your hands back a little bit more so that they're beside your waist. Squeeze your legs so your kneecaps come off the floor and then curl up into cobra. Squeeze your shoulders towards each other on your back. Squeeze your thighs and keep pressing your hands back towards your feet so that you can peel your heart up a little bit more, shining the power of your heart forwards. Now come all the way down. We're going to do one more belly down back bend. Bring your hands down onto the floor beside you, or if you're Rosie, onto the grass beside you. And turn your palms up so your fingernails are on the floor. From here, bring your feet together and squeeze your legs. So again, your kneecaps rise off the floor. And pick up your legs off the floor. They won't come up high, but pick them up as best you can. Push far to the back of your mat with the base of your big toes and then pick up your hands, pick up your throat. Maybe look forward a little bit more as you peel up more of your heart, pressing your hands back towards your feet. 3, this is called locust pose, Shalabhasana. 2, 1, maybe a little bit higher. And then come back to downward facing dog. So bring your hands by the sides of your ribs, separate your feet, tuck your toes under, push the floor away and go back. Press your tailbone far away from your head. Really lengthen your spine. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forwards and walk your feet to the top of the mat, coming into standing forward fold. Again, feet nice and wide apart. Press every finger down into the floor, so bend your knees if you need to. In fact, do bend your knees and make contact with your belly and your thighs. So drape yourself over your legs. Don't be too relaxed in the drapery of this though. Keep pressing your feet towards each other. Keep your abdominal muscles engaged. Slightly knit your lower ribs towards each other. Stay here for a couple more breaths as you possibly start to straighten your legs, keeping contact with your belly and your thighs. Now bring your hands onto your hips, bend your knees, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Finally, we're standing up. And then get your strap or your tea towel or whatever it is that you've got in order to be able to do, I'm a little bit out of the picture here, in order to be able to do this. Now I'm going to do this kneel, actually you know what, everyone come into a kneeling position. Then I can see you better, that's it. And bring your arms up like this. If this is uncomfortable on your knees, then double up your mat so you've got a little bit of cushioning under your knees. Now, we're going to do shoulder flossing. When you do this, try and keep your elbows straight the whole time. So from here, bring your knees together, press your knees towards each other. That's it. And then slowly bring your strap or your towel behind you, minimizing the back bend that you're very tempted to do. So keep pressing your tailbone down towards your knees. That's it. And then come touching your bottom with your strap. Then slowly come all the way up. Now, if you're bending your elbows, you need to slightly separate your hands from each other. So Kathy, just let your hands separate a little bit more from each other. Yeah. Now bring the strap all the way down. And then come up again. So come all the way up, then go all the way back. Just keep your breathing continuous. We're not too worried about the rhythm of the breathing yet. And then come all the way up. And then all the way down in front of you. And we'll do one more of these. This time do think about your breath. Inhale, bring the strap all the way up. And as you exhale, come all the way down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, come down. Okay, good. Now sit onto your heels. Keep the strap. Keep the strap in your left hand and bring the strap up and then release it with your right hand. So now you've just got it in your left hand and it's dangling behind you. Bend your elbow, reach your right arm out. That's it, so your arm is behind, your left arm is behind your head. Bring the right arm out to the side, turn the thumb down, and then clasp the strap behind you. That's it, so Kathy, bring the arm behind, yeah, you got it. Clasp the strap with both hands if you've got one free, good. I'm kneeling up, but you stay as you are. And then from here, little bit by little bit, walk your hands towards each other. So I'm not mirroring you now. Now I am. That's it. And nudge your elbow, your top elbow, a little bit more behind you as you draw the right shoulder back. Now again, as when we were standing up, you're going to be very tempted to come into a big back bend here. Keep pressing your tailbone down. Now turn your head a little bit to the left and the right. That's it. And then just look forwards with ease in your shoulders, in your neck. Now release the right arm. Let it slither down behind you. Stretch your left arm straight. Bring the strap down. Now put the strap into your right arm. I've got myself in a tangle here. Right arm straight up. Make sure you've got a nice tail here. Bend the right arm behind you. Bring your left arm out to the side. Turn the thumb down and then grab the strap. So just repeating cow's ears pose in the arms on the right side here. That's it. Now again, a little bit of ease in your neck. Just make sure you've got some movement there. You're not tightening up with tension. Keep pressing your tailbone down so you feel your lower back lengthen. Nudge the left shoulder back. Good. I like to slightly drop my chin down in this pose so I get a little bit more length in the back of your neck. See how that feels for you. As you drop the chin down, press the tailbone down. A couple more breaths here. If you feel like you could maybe walk your hands a little closer to each other without giving yourself a headache, do that. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Now release the left hand, let it slide down your back. Straighten your right arm just for a moment. And then bring the strap down. You're going to use the strap again, but much later. So just put it off to the side for now. And then come up to standing by bringing your hands by the sides of your legs. Lean forward. Tuck your toes under. Come into a squat. Keep your fingers on the floor. Start to pick your bottom up. Then bring your hands onto your hips and hinge up to standing all the way to mountain pose, Tadasana. Back to standing up. Now, walk forwards, come to the front of your mat. I'm just going to change the camera angle here a bit. Okay, good. That's better. Okay, separate your feet to hip width apart. We're going to do a little flow now, sun salutation, coming more into the flow element of our class. So inhale, bring your arms up by the sides of your body all the way up. And as you exhale, fold. Bring your hands to the sides of your feet. Inhale, raise your chest, look up for Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, walk back into plank. Take as many steps as you need to come back into plank pose. Now, last week when we were doing the solar plexus chakra, the chakra of power and strength and will, we held this for quite a long time, quite often. I don't want us to forget that, but I'm not going to keep it as intense with the Anahata chakra. But I want you to stay here for a few more breaths, and if you need to bring your knees to the floor to help you with that, then do. So about 15 more seconds here. So be compassionate with yourself and bring your knees down if you need to. Keep squeezing your legs. Lift your navel up in towards your spine. Keep your arms really straight and strong, and try not to drop your face down to the floor. So if anything, slightly lift your chin. 3, 2, 1. Now bring your knees down to the floor and come all the way down. Land your thighs, your pubic bone and your chest. Then inhale, curl up into cobra. Now try and bring your legs a little closer to each other. Squeeze them towards each other. Press your hands back towards your feet. And again, shine your heart forwards. Come into downward facing dog. Roll over your toes or tuck them under. Push the floor away and press back. Now bring your feet together. And as you inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Try and keep both arms really straight and strong. Bring your right knee towards your nose and then step your right foot in between your hands. So come onto your right fingertips and step forward. Now bring your back knee down and keep the back toes tucked under. Bring your arms out to the side, separating your fingers. Show me your palms. Come all the way up. Reach up, stretch up. Nice, good stuff, Kathy. Keep bending your right knee. Keep pressing your front foot towards the back of your mat. Now we're going to change the arms here. Interlace your hands behind your back. So turn your palms to the side walls. Interlace your fingers. Raise your chest. Just like we did when we were kneeling earlier. Keep pressing your left hip forwards and your right buttock back. 3. Maybe look up a little bit more. 2. Bring your hands a little higher. 1. Press your hands back behind you. Now release your hands. Bring them up again, back into Urdhva Hastasana. And then very slowly come halfway down. Pause here, knit your lower ribs in towards each other, bring your navel into your spine, then touch down and go back to downward facing dog. Step back. So this first flow is incredibly slow, steady and considered. Bring your 2 feet together because I really want you to feel the strength and the power here. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you, and we'll speed this up as we proceed, as we go forward. Bring your left knee towards your nose, round your back like you did in cat pose. Step your left foot forward in between your hands, bring your back knee down. Bring your arms out to the side. Separate your fingers. Now raise your heart, see if you can bring your thumbs back a little bit more. Keep pressing your left hip point forwards. You stay like this, I'm moving, but you stay here. And then interlace your fingers behind your back the awkward way, the non-dominant clasp. Straighten your arms as much as you can. Raise your heart, slightly raise your chin. Maybe hands a little higher, press your hands back a little bit more towards that back foot. 3, keep breathing deeply. 2, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your legs. 1. Now keep your chin up like this, release your fingers, and again raise your arms up towards the sky, towards the ceiling. Reach, 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 get bigger, get taller. And then again, halfway down. Pause just for a moment, resting your ribs on your thigh. Then touch down and go back to downward facing dog. Knit your lower ribs. Squeeze your legs, press your heels down. And as you stay here for a couple more breaths, put a slight constriction in the back of your throat so that your windpipe feels a tiny bit tighter and your breathing is a little more raspy and a little more obvious. Try and maintain that ujjayi breath, as we call it, victorious breath, throughout this sequence as much as you can. I'll keep reminding you. Now inhale deeply. Put a little bend in your knees and look forward. As you exhale, step your right foot, then your left foot, or just walk forwards to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Uttanasana. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up. Bring your hands together and then down in towards your heart. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. As you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. Exhale, walk back into plank. A couple of breaths here. Inhale deeply and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale deeply. Now as you exhale, bring your knees down, bring your thighs and your pubic bone down, but keep your chest up, curl up. Inhale into cobra. Exhale, go back into downward facing dog. Now bring your feet together. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you for three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. This time the back leg stays straight. Bring your arms all the way out to the side, separate your fingers, come all the way up. Now we're going to do a twist here. Bring your hands together, bring them down in towards your heart. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring your left elbow onto your right thigh. Turn your chest towards the right side of the room or the park. Turn your fingers in towards your throat and turn. That's it, Lisa, good. Squeeze your back leg a little straighter. And then see if you can rotate around your heart a little bit more. Bring that top shoulder back to the wall behind you as you squeeze your back leg. And then maybe even move forward a little bit more so your back heel is up. Good stuff, Kathy, you got it, nailed it. Now look down and touch down either sides of your front foot, your right foot, and go back to downward facing dog. Good. Bring your 2 feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Be strong in both legs and both arms. Bring your knee towards your nose and step your foot in between your hands. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Reach up, stretch up. Maybe move your weight a little bit forward so that your back heel is up vertical. Squeeze that back leg straight. Now bring your hands together. Inhale, reach up to the sky. As you exhale, start to twist towards the left. So bring your right elbow either right on top of your thigh or maybe a little bit over to the left. Spin your fingers to your throat. And then turn your chest, squeeze your bottom so your hips, your pelvis stay more or less in place. In fact, keep moving that left buttock towards your back foot. 3, 2, 1. Now look at your front foot. Separate your hands, touch down slowly, and step back again into downward facing dog. Try and keep that ujjayi breathing, that slight constriction in the back of your throat. Press your hands forward. When you finish this exhalation, inhale deeply. And as you exhale, put a little bend in your knees, look forwards and step your left foot, then your right, or walk forwards to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up to standing, bring your hands together and bring them down in towards your heart. We're going to do one more little flow. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, again, walk back into plank. Remember your options. You can bring your knees to the floor if you need to. Inhale here, especially if you're getting a little tired. And exhale, stay. Inhale deeply, squeeze your legs. And exhale slowly. Inhale. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor, bring your thighs and pubic bone to the floor, but keep your chest up, curl up into cobra. So we're not doing chaturanga, and then go back into downward facing dog. Lift up and press back. Inhale deeply, lift up your sitting bones. And as you exhale, press your heels down. Inhale, squeeze and strengthen your arms. And as you exhale, push down through the mushy base of your thumbs. Inhale, make sure that your head is hanging. And as you exhale, really push your heels down. Inhale, put a little bend in your knees and look forward. And as you exhale, step your right foot, then your left to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest, look up, keep your fingers on the floor. And as you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up, bring your hands together, and then down in towards your heart. Good. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Now, come into chair pose as you exhale. Bring your feet together in chair pose. Now, bring your hands together, bring your hands in towards your heart, sit a little bit lower. Inhale here, and as you exhale, twist to the right. So bring your elbow to the outside of the right thigh. Spin your fingers towards your throat. Imagine you're trying to sit into a very small, low chair behind you. Keep pressing down through the base of your toes, and then maybe twist a little bit more, really showing your belly and your heart to the right side of the room. Now look down at the floor, turn your chest so it's parallel to the floor. Inhale, stay here. And as you exhale, twist to the other side. Keep squeezing your legs towards each other. Maybe twist a little bit more, so you've got to use your strength and your will to turn a little bit more. Keep squeezing your bottom. Shine your heart to the left. 3, 2, 1. Now look down, touch down, and go back to downward facing dog. Now from here, bring your right knee just behind your right wrist and onto the floor, coming into pigeon prep. Keep that right knee quite bent. Now, bring the back knee down and move your back knee and your back foot back a little bit, but not so much that the left hip really moves back. I want you to be able to feel that your two hip points are both pointing forwards. You haven't got the left hip sort of going back more, like you're steering a car to the left. Drive your car straight with your two hip points forward, like they're headlights. Keep the back toes tucked under and squeeze your legs towards each other. You stay where you are. I'm just going to change so that you can see me better. That's it. Now, come onto your fingertips into a little bit more of a back bend. If that's okay for your lower back, if your lower back doesn't like this, then keep your hands flat and you might even want to bend your elbows. Squeeze your legs, raise your heart. Now, listen carefully. Bring the back toenails down to the floor. So you're rubbing off your pedicure. Keep your legs as they are, but pick up your back knee as best you can. So really, really ruin your pedicure now. Press down the toenails, pick up the back knee. So you're having to really squeeze this buttock. 3, 2, 1. Now bring the back knee back down. Then, listen carefully, bring this buttock, your right buttock, down to the floor. So lean over to this side. Bring your right hand a little bit more out to the right. Then, coming into a big thigh stretch for this leg, your left leg, bend the left leg, reach around with your hand, and as you lean a little bit more over to the right, gently draw your heel in towards your buttock. So Rosie, make sure you really are on your right buttock here. It's completely on the floor. That's it. So your back foot isn't up vertical, it's more down, like this. Yeah, so yeah, from what I can see, yes, that's better, good. Now, rise and shine your heart up towards the sky, up towards the ceiling. So really turn up a little bit more as you experiment with maybe bringing your heel a little bit closer to the center of your buttock. If you're not feeling very much here, then move your left knee back even more. So your knees are more in a straight line. If you're already feeling plenty, then don't do that. 3, keep pushing that left hip forward, keep moving the right ribs up to the sky. 1, now release your foot and go back into downward facing dog. Place your hands, lift up, press back, back to down dog. That's it. Good. Now bring your left knee behind your left wrist. Coming back into pigeon prep. Keep the back toes tucked over for the beginning, tucked under for the beginning rather. Bring your back knee down. Bring your fingers just either side of your front knee. Coming into pigeon prep. Can you all still hear me okay? Rosie, can you hear me? You looked a bit doubtful then. Are you all right? Good. Okay, good. Raise your chest. Now, again, option to come onto the fingertips if you want to have a bigger back bend. Otherwise, maybe stay low, especially if you're protecting an injury. Squeeze your bottom. Keep moving the right hip forward, the left hip back. Then we're going to do that pedicure ruining thing again. Bring your toenails down to the floor and pick up your back knee as best you can. It might even stay on the floor, but feel that the beginnings of it elevating are going to happen. 3, 2, 1. Now bring that back knee back down to the floor. You stay as you are. I'm just going to change position so that it's easier for you to see. Come completely onto your left buttock. Dush, all the way down. Bring your left hand down to the floor and turn the fingers a little bit out. That's it. Then bend your back leg, reach around for the base of your shin, and then experiment with how it feels to maybe bring the heel in a little bit more to the center of your right buttock. And once you've sort of found the limit of that, start to turn your chest more up towards the ceiling. You might even find that you can press your right hip a little bit more away from you, increasing the stretch on the front of your hip. I love doing this. Try and remember this. I think this is really good for all of us. We get very tight in the front of our pelvis from sitting and walking. And I think a lot of us are sitting more at the moment than we normally do. So maybe in the evenings, if you can remember, bring this pose out before you go to sleep. It'll help you sleep better. 3, 2, 1. Now release that back hip. Come forward and go back into downward facing dog. So walk your hands forward, lift up, and press back. Now, bring your knees back down to the floor and come up into a high kneeling position. We're sort of slowing down here in the vinyasa because I'm preparing you with some poses that we're going to flow together. Yeah, good opportunity for a drink break. Bring your knees together and then stretch your right leg out onto the mat beside you. So you might want to bring your knees a little bit over to the left so you've got space. Good. Then bring your left hand down to the floor, kind of in line with the knee. Make sure your index finger is pointing all the way to the left and your hand is flat. That's it. Then from here, keep your right hand on your hip, turn your chest so that it feels like you're in a toaster, you're a piece of bread, and then slowly pick up that back leg parallel to the floor and keep turning. Now really push your hand down and press your back toenails down so that your left knee isn't taking all your weight. Knit your lower ribs, 3, and then maybe bring that top hand up, 2, 1. Now keep the hand up but bring the foot down. Just stay here for a moment. Then as you inhale, pick the leg up, and as you exhale, bring it down. We're going to do 2 more of these. Inhale, bring the leg up. And exhale, bring the leg down. Keep your abs really strong. Inhale, bring the leg up. And exhale, bring the leg down. Inhale, come all the way up with your entire upper body. Bring your hands to your hips and bring your knees together. Scooch over to this side. Well done. Bring your left leg out. Yeah, good stuff, Rosie. Got it already. Inhale, raise your chest. Exhale, bring your hand flat on the floor. And when you're ready, inhale, bring the leg up. Now remember, the first one, we hold it a little while in order to really get the pose. Turn your chest, knit your lower ribs, bring your top hand up when you're ready. I'm in the foliage here, can you see me? And then stay a little bit longer, really push that right hand down. Now bring the left foot down to touch the floor. Inhale, bring it up. Keep going, Lisa, you can do it. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring it down. 1 more. Inhale, bring it up. Really push through your heel. And then exhale, bring it down. And then come all the way up. Try and come up straight. So your abs really have to engage. Bring your hands to your hips. Bring your knees together. Well done. And then go back into downward facing dog. Okay, we're going to do a little flow now. And we're going to add in half moon. So you've just practiced the legs in half moon there. So hopefully you'll be pretty well prepared. So from here, put a little bend in your knees and look forward. And walk your feet forward to the top of the mat. Just stay here at Uttanasana for a couple more breaths, really stretching the backs of your legs. Hang your head. Breathe deeply. Come back to that slightly sibilant sound, that little constriction in your throat of Ujjayi breath. Lift up your kneecaps by squeezing your thighs. Then coming up to standing, bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up, reach up, stretch up, look up, and bring your hands together, and then down into your heart. Inhale, bring your arms up. As you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, walk back again into downward facing dog. It's all familiar stuff here. Bring your 2 feet together. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And as you exhale, bring your knee to your nose and then step your foot in between your hands. Now, a new pose, Warrior 2. Bring your back heel down. Reach your left arm forward and then rainbow it over your head as you bring your right arm up. I'm going to move back a little bit because I've got the plant in the way here. Come into Warrior 2, bend that right knee, check that the right knee is tracking over your middle toe and that your middle toe is pointing straight forward. Stretch your hands wide away from each other. Now, coming into half moon, bring your back hand onto your hip, step your back foot forward, glue your front foot in place, bring your right fingertips ahead of your right foot and a little over to the right, about 30 centimeters ahead, and then slowly pick up your back foot. Imagine you've got a cup of tea on the outside edge of that back foot, so don't let the toes drop down to the floor. Keep that outside edge of your foot parallel to the ceiling. Keep looking down and reach your top hand up.
Squeeze your bottom, and as you keep looking down, turn your chest a little bit more towards the left. Squeeze your legs as strongly as you can. 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to go back to warrior 2. Try and keep your top hand up, reaching to the sky. Bend your right knee, lower your chest so that your ribs touch your thigh. Then step back and bring your arms up, back to warrior 2. Then go back to downward facing dog. Touch down, step back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Bring your 2 feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you, 3-legged dog. Now just hold your horses here for a moment. Squeeze your legs really strong. Push long through both heels. So let the right heel drop down towards the floor. Now look forward in between your hands. Bring your left knee towards your nose. Then step your foot in between your hands. Use your hand to help you if you need to. Bring your back heel down and then come up into warrior 2 on your left side. Good. Again, check that your left foot is pointing straight forward and that your left knee is pointing over your middle toes. Nice. Now, half moon. Bring your back hand onto your hip. Step your back foot forward. Think about your back foot a lot here. Try not to turn the left toes in. Slowly shift the back foot more forwards. Bring your fingertips down to the floor. And again, the cup of tea is on the back foot. Slowly raise that leg up as you start to straighten your standing leg, your left leg. Don't worry if it stays bent. Just do the best that you can. If you lose your balance, just come back into the pose. Then turn your heart, your belly, your chest to the right as you reach your top hand up. Keep that cup of tea in place. 3, 2, even separate your back toes. 1. Now back to warrior 2. Bring your top hand onto your hip. Bend that front knee. Well done, guys. Good soft landing. Bring your legs down to the floor. That's it, Kathy. Good stuff. Stretch your arms straight and strong. And then go back into downward facing dog. So windmill that arm over your head. Touch down and step back. Good. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forward. And then walk your feet to the top of the mat. Raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Now bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up, come up to standing, bring your hands together, and then down and towards your heart. We're going to repeat that, but we're going to add on a little extra level of excitement. Inhale, bring your arms all the way up. And as you exhale, fold back to Uttanasana. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, walk back into plank. Inhale here in plank. Exhale, bring your knees to the floor, come all the way down, but keep your chest up, curl up into cobra. And as you exhale, go back into downward facing dog. Bring your 2 feet together. Inhale, raise your right leg behind you. And as you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Bring your back heel down. Inhale, come up again into warrior 2. Bring your back hand onto your hip. We're going to come straight into half moon. Step your back foot forward. Bring your right fingertips down to the floor and pick your back leg up. Now listen carefully. Stay here in half moon, especially if you're a little bit tipsy on your balance, or bend both of your knees, grab the outside of your left shin, straighten your right leg again, and then pick up that back leg, bringing your heel in towards your bottom, like you did when you were doing that thigh stretch sitting down. Now try not to point that left knee up too much towards the ceiling, so keep it pressing down to the floor as you then, whatever you're doing, even if you're staying in half moon, turn your belly and your heart towards the left. Keep looking down. 3, 2, squeeze your bottom. 1, now if you have got that back foot, then release it and stretch that leg straight again, back into normal half moon. And then everyone go back into warrior 2. So bend the right knee, step back, reach your arms. Warrior 2, strong, noble, empathetic warrior. And then go back into downward facing dog. Touch down and step back. Stay here for a few more breaths. You stay here. Good. Now put a little bend in your knees and look forward and walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, come all the way up to standing, bring your hands together and down in towards your heart. Now stay here. Before we come to the other side of that pose, that sequence, I want to quickly show it to you because there are a couple of tricks. So good opportunity for a drink as you just watch for a moment. So you went from warrior 2 here to half moon here. So actually I'm going to get out of the way because the plant is not positioned very well. So from warrior 2 you step forward and you come into half moon. Cup of tea on the back foot. Now the option is to stay here, or you bend both of your knees, grab the base of your shin. You might come out of this and fall a little bit, but keep trying. And then you open up again. It's a little bit like a flower opening in the morning when the sun shines. Try not to bring this knee up too much. So I'm really trying to press it down. And then, woof, then you open up. This is called Ardha Chandra Chapasana. You've got to keep looking down on this. If you look to the side, then you really are going to lose your balance. So this is an option. It's the thigh stretch. Then from there, you go back into half moon, and then you go back into warrior 2 as lightly and gracefully as you can. So be playful with this. And it might be the first time that you've done it, and you may fall out of it a few times, but just give it a go. So let's do the other side, okay? So come back into downward facing dog, and then after this, we're going to really relax. But you've got to earn the relaxation. So downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. We're going to come at it through the vinyasa. Bring your knees down to the floor. Bring your thighs and your pubic bone down. Curl up into cobra. And then go back again into downward facing dog. So tuck your toes under, lift up and press back. Now bring your 2 feet together. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. And as you exhale, step it in between your hands. Bring your back heel down. Come up into warrior 2 on your left side. Nice, nailed it, good stuff. Make it good. Don't worry about what's happening next. Be here. Now bring your back hand onto your hip. Look at your front foot. Step your back foot forward. Bring your left fingertips just ahead of your left little toe, a little out to the left, so that helps with your balance. And then start to pick up your back foot as you straighten the front. Keep looking down, maybe reach the top hand up, your right hand up. Please feel free to stay here in half moon, or bend both knees, crouch down, get little. Bring your hands to the outside of your shin, your right hand to the outside of your shin, and then possibly start to straighten your standing leg, your left leg, as you pick the back leg up and move the knee back, and keep pressing the knee down towards the floor. 3, 2, well done guys. 1. Now if you have got that back foot, let go of it now and straighten your top leg and straighten the top hand. Then coming back to warrior 2, bend the front leg, step back as lightly as you can, try not to make any noise, and then open up. Well done. I hope that's the hardest thing you have to do today. And then go back into downward facing dog. So touch down, step back, down dog. Now bring your knees down to the floor and turn towards me so that your face on. That's it. And then bring your right buttock down to the floor. We're going to do Bharadvadrasana, a really nice seated twist. Right hand comes down, and then bring the top of this foot, this left foot, into the arch, or the base of the shin rather, into the arch of the bottom foot, and turn so that your knees are pointing towards me. So this is what the legs look like. Good. Okay, now this buttock is off the floor, that's fine. Now reach the right arm up, get lots of length on the side of the body, and then rotate your chest a little bit to the right so that you can then bring the fingertips to the floor, right next to your bottom, so it's just propping you up. Then bring your left arm up. Rotate again, and then bring the back of your hand around the outside of your right thigh. Press that hand in really strongly and turn. And look over your right shoulder. Gently, don't twist your neck too much here.
Raise your heart, so really elevate the right rib cage up towards the ceiling as you slightly lower your chin. So you're rising your heart up towards your chin, lifting your spirits to your mind. Now keep your body as it is, but turn your head to now look over your left shoulder and slightly down. And actually drop the left ear a little bit and then really raise the right heart up, the right side of your heart up. Keep dropping the left hip down towards the floor. Now releasing Bhadrasana, untuck the left hand, sit back onto your heels, back to Vajrasana. Try and keep your breathing steady and calm and warm. Then come into Bhadrasana on the other side. So bring your left buttock down, bring the base of your right shin into the arch of your bottom foot. That's it. Knees pointing towards me. Bring your left arm up, get lots of length, turn your chest, bring your left hand onto the floor behind you, close to you, so you're just propped up. Bring your right arm up, turn your chest again, and then bring the outside of the hand, the back of your hand, around that left thigh, and then turn. Keep nudging that left hip, that left shoulder back as you raise the left lung and the left side of your rib cage up towards the ceiling. Slightly drop your chin. Rotate maybe a little bit more. So it's quite a strong twist, but keep your shoulders soft. And let your right hip, your right buttock, ooze down towards the floor. Don't push it down. Just let gravity take hold of it and let all the tissues around your right hip soften down towards the floor. Now keeping this pose, just turn your head. So you're now looking over your right shoulder, chin slightly down. When you do that turning of your head, don't let the left side of your heart drop. Keep rising up, the left breast even, up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Now slowly release and soften, so let the right hand go. And again, sit back onto your heels. Bring your hands onto your legs. Good. Now stay here for a few moments. Before we come to lying down and doing some hip openers, I want you to stay seated, closing your eyes. If this is uncomfortable for you, for your knees, then please sit in a cross-legged position, and you can sit on your towel if you want to. Coming back to center. Closing your eyes, just take a few breaths. Notice how the left side of your body feels compared to the right side. Let your belly be soft. Just noticing your body here. Breathing deeply. Let your heart rate slow down as your breath softens. Giving yourself a moment here to be alone, just noticing how you feel. Having gone through quite a rigorous asana posture practice, give yourself space and time to recover and reflect and be present in stillness. Now from here, please open your eyes and come into seated in the middle of your mat and have your strap nearby. Just bring it next to you. You're going to need it in this next pose. We're going to stretch and open the backs of the legs a little bit more. So from here, please, sitting in the middle of your mat, bring your elbows down and come all the way down. If you've got a ponytail in that's going to annoy you when you're with your head on the floor, then take it out or loosen it, lengthen it. And then lengthen your legs long down the mat and squeeze your legs together. Keep your eyes open. We're not coming to Shavasana yet. Then pick up your right leg, get your strap or your towel, whatever you have, and pick up your head and your shoulders so that you can put the strap underneath the ball of your foot and then straighten your leg. Straightening your leg might mean sliding your hands down the strap quite a bit. Whatever you're doing, squeeze both legs strong. Then draw all of your toenails, even the left-footed toenails, towards your face. Make sure that your hands are all the way up the strap. You haven't got your elbows bent. That way you can really relax your shoulders, only having to use your hands to keep the shape. Keep looking up at your top foot. Then turn your right knee a little bit more to the right and the right foot a little bit more to the right. And put your left strap into your right hand. So you're holding both lengths of the towel or strap in your right hand. Bring your left hand onto your left thigh and then slowly bring your right leg down towards the floor without letting the foot land on the floor. And when the left hip point rises up, stop bringing the right foot down. 3, 2, 1. Now bring that right leg all the way back up to vertical. And when you get here, put both straps into your left hand. Then cross your right leg over your body and bring the inner foot all the way down towards the left. This time you can touch the floor. And I want you to stay here a little bit longer than we did in the previous pose. So you're going to keep that foot on the floor for a little while. Straighten both of your legs as best you can and bring your right arm right out to the side in line with your shoulders so that you feel like you're making a cross with your torso and your head, your left leg, and then your right leg and your right arm at the horizontal cross parts. Now as you stay here a little bit longer, peel or rock your top hip away from your chest. So you're lengthening your right buttock towards the front of your mat, towards your extended left foot, so that you lengthen and give a little bit more spaciousness to the right lower back. A few more breaths here. If you feel like you can increase the twist, push your left elbow down a little bit more into your mat and pick up your left back ribs and move them a little closer to your left elbow. And then you can bring your right shoulder down a little bit more towards the floor. So really opening up the outside of the right hip here. So much of our sequence today was strengthening and really tightening and toning the glutes. Now you've got the opportunity to lengthen and stretch them. Okay, we're going to come to the other side now. So bend your right knee, bring that leg all the way up, take the strap away, lengthen both of your legs down the mat. So you've got to shift your bottom a little bit more back to center. Stay here. Feel the difference between the left and right sides of your legs and your hips. The left side is crying out for this now. So pick up the left leg, pick up your head enough so that you can put the strap underneath the ball of the left foot. Lengthen this leg. Stay here. Both legs straight and toned. Squeeze your thighs. All 10 toenails moving towards your face so that you really push your heels long, lengthening the backs of your legs with a little bit more purpose. And then turn your left knee and your left toes a little bit more out to the left. Notice how that feels. Now, bringing the left leg out to the side, put your right strap in your left hand. Place your right hand onto your right thigh and reach for your right knee. And then slowly bring your left leg out to the left. But again, not all the way down, just enough so that when the right hip comes up, you stop. Maybe even move that left foot back a little bit more towards your left ear. 3, relax your shoulders. There's a real habit here for people to raise their shoulders up to their ears. Try and relax them. 2, 1. Now as you inhale, bring that leg all the way up, press the right ribs down, and then put both straps into your right hand, shift your bottom a little over to the left, And bring your left foot down to the right and land it on the floor or on the grass. Now both legs stay straight and strong. Arrange your pose. Maybe even at the beginning you can push your right elbow down and move the right ribs a little closer towards that right elbow. Soften the left shoulder down towards the floor. Really push, not really, but quite firmly, press down the outside edge of your right foot, the little toe edge of that right foot. So you feel that you've got some purchase here. You can maybe twist a little bit more. Stretch the left arm straight. Bring the left fingernails to the floor, so make sure your left palm is turned up. And then press that top hip, your left hip, towards your right foot. So you're lengthening and opening the left lower back. Make sure the back of your head is on the floor. If you want, you can even turn your head towards your left hand. I prefer to look up towards the ceiling, but if you want to kind of complete the twist with your neck, turn it to the left. Again, we're staying here for a little while. If you feel like you could bring your left foot a little bit more up towards the wall behind you, be my guest. Then from here, coming out of this twist, bend your knee if you need to. Bring that leg all the way up. Take the strap away. You don't need it now, so you can really move it out towards the side. Come back into the center of your mat if you wandered away. Now, before we come into Shavasana, please draw your knees in towards your shoulders. And so it's like you're doing upside down child's pose, lengthening out the lower back. And if you want to move around a little bit, something that you can't really do in normal child's pose, please feel free to move a little bit to the left and the right, compressing the muscles on your back. If you feel any tender muscles, maybe stay there a little longer. Keep your head on the floor. Now, cross your right leg over your left leg. Just do this in midair. And draw your knees gently down in towards your chest. So your right leg is on your left. Put your left hand on that right knee and the right hand on the left. Maybe even draw your knees in a little bit more. Again, making sure you're not tensing your shoulders or your neck. Now take your hands away, uncross the right leg and cross the left leg over. Now your right hand is on the knee that's closest to you. Before we come out of this pose, just turn your feet a couple of times in one direction, just putting your ankles through their full range of motion, make circles, and then change direction. Now let your feet be very still. Take your hands away from your knees, bring the backs of your hands to the floor, uncross the left leg, bring your feet down to the floor, and set yourself up for Shavasana. So I really recommend that you get your towel and you put it underneath the back of your head and bring it down a little bit so that it touches the tops of your shoulders. So you really feel like your neck is supported. I even like to squish in the sides of the towel around the neck. So you feel like your neck is getting a nice hug. Now widen your feet and let your toes turn away from each other. And before you bring your arms down into Shavasana, give yourself a hug. So cross your arms over your body. You can grab your upper back with your fingertips and press your elbows down in towards your heart and squeeze. Not only is this a nice physical stretch, also think of this as giving yourself, giving your inner child a lovely warm hug. Send yourself the message that you're good enough, you're strong enough, and you're doing so well. Now uncross your arms and cross the other way and hug yourself again.
Press your elbows into your heart. Give yourself a squeeze. Squeezing someone that you dearly, dearly love. Now, take your hands away and bring your hands down to the floor. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling and make sure that your fingers are loosely curled. Staying here in Shavasana, I'll ring the bells when it's time to come out. At the beginning of Shavasana, I'm going to tell you a little more about this Anahata chakra. And when I become silent, let yourself really relax and rest. So when the Anahata is evenly balanced, this beautiful green sphere that sits just in front of our spine behind the heart, we can find compassion which brings kindness and goodwill towards others. We're able to find love without expectations or attachments, from a place of unconditional love and understanding. We love people regardless of their behavior towards us. And we don't respond to people according to how agreeable they seem to us. I've got a lovely quote here. Love seems to be the appreciation that we are all little lumps in the same earthy soup, which is a little lump in the larger cosmic soup. So love is an awareness of this beautiful, energetic relationship and a natural appreciation of this situation. It doesn't seem to be a matter of finding love, it's a matter of being aware of it. It's not a question of invention, but rather of discovery. So as you lie here in Shavasana, feel the spaciousness of letting go. Try and relax every muscle and tissue in your body. Give yourself air and space, room to breathe as you let go and rest. Now from here, put a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. Bend your knees one leg at a time and roll over onto your right side. Now press down with your left hand and then your right hand, bringing yourself up into a seated position.
And when you get into your seated position, cross-legged or kneeling, close your eyes and bring your hands into your heart, into Anjali Mudra. Lower your chin so that it touches your fingertips and stay here. I've got another quote here by Leo Bustanglia. I love this one. Listen to this carefully. Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. And I want you to think of those sentiments as also being something that you can give to yourself. Notice how you talk to yourself. Do you give yourself an honest compliment? Do you give yourself a kind word? So not just to others, the people around you, but also to yourself. Now from here, please lower your hands, bring your palms onto your legs and press them down. And then as you inhale, raise your chin, slowly open your eyes. Namaste. I'm going to unmute you now.